What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Block Hash podcast and happy holidays. Final episode to end 2024, which has been very exciting, and have a very exciting guest to cap it off as well. Bill Inman, the president for Twin Protocol, an AI and blockchain company that's focused on creating your very own AI twin, transforming how you communicate, learn, earn, while saving your knowledge and experiences. It's going to be very interesting to learn what they're doing today. So, Bill, welcome to the show, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. How you doing?
It's an honor to be closing out the year with you. I've seen you've had some big guests, so it's great to be here with you. We got a chance to chit chat before, have some similarities and some backgrounds to share, but I think we have a really exciting topic to share with you, which revolves around personal decentralized AI, and it'll be a good end of year session.
Absolutely. And to kick it off, before we dive into Twin Protocol, I'm sure people would love to learn a little bit more about yourself, how you ended up in the Web3 space, what kind of led you down this path towards Web3 and AI, and also to being a part of Twin Protocol.
Talk about right place, right time. I mean, you look at Bitcoin. I mean, it's a little different today when we record this, but high of 107, and the world is really starting to realize that blockchain and taking out the middlemen and new forms of digital currency and the whole DeFi space is the talk of the town, right? It's like everything in the world. So I feel really lucky to be in Web3. But my journey started in Web3 after decades of being an entrepreneur. I've raised over $200 million for early stage, idea stage companies. Generally, I was the founder or one of the co-founders. Some of those companies went from 0 to 3 billion in revenue. I worked as an entrepreneur. And then most of that was in HR tech. So I did a lot in applicant tracking, vendor management, payroll. Some of the clients I had in my past life, this whole past life I had, Tesla, Boeing, Disney, ESPN. So just serving like really enterprise level companies, but always helping people understand the future of work. So I found myself in 2015, understanding straight up enterprise blockchain more and the ability to have an immutable record for a database, which was amazing for resumes, since 70% of resumes are faked. So I made my way into the industry using blockchain to be like, you can't change this resume, it's on the blockchain. And I started a company called Talenting. We infused AI into that. We created like a FICO-like career score using the blockchain data, got multiple patents, and I ended up selling that company to job.com in 2020. And I didn't know crypto. But then fate kind of had me introduced to Dr. Ben Goertzel of SingularityNET. And many of you know who are watching this and who are in crypto know the AGIX token, know Dr. Ben Goertzel, know Sophia the robot, know the ASI, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. So when I met Ben in 2020, I really started to understand the power of crypto and have been a part of many of the SingularityNet launches over the past 4 years, including the ones with Sophia the robot and NewNet, and been a part of the AGIX token. So I really thoroughly understand it before I even launched Twin Protocol, which I co-founded along with Stacy Engel, our CEO, and Dr. Ben Goertzel. So that's like a short brief of how I got here in Web3, and super thrilled to be here.
And then how did that, I think, intertwine to you working on Twin Protocol? Was there any like inception point there? Did you partner up with any buddies that were like-minded that wanted to work on this with you, or what kind of led to this coming alive?
Yeah, well, I'm really passionate, especially now, the world being able to take advantage of the AI opportunity. And, the centralized big tech companies are all over it. I mean, you know this, right? We know OpenAI, ChatGPT has 100 million users. NVIDIA is a $3 trillion company. As a chip manufacturer, Broadcom, which is another chip manufacturer, which is somebody you don't think about, they just became a $1 trillion company. There's a lot of money in the space. But what happens with big tech is, and what's happened with big tech is they've borrowed, quote unquote, the internet to train the AI models, and that's our data. So the AI productivity boom between now and 2030 is going to bring $15 trillion of new opportunity to everybody. Sometimes it's hard to conceptualize those big numbers. That's the size of the total global food market. So if you had a little piece of the global food market, like a restaurant in Las Vegas, where I live, and it did well, you'd probably be pretty happy just as an individual. That's one little segment. And the internet from 2000 to 2006 brought $2 trillion of productivity. So you're talking about 7x the productivity the internet brought is now available to everybody. So I'm really passionate about helping people take advantage of that. And Dr. Ben Goertzel, who I mentioned at SingularityNet, his goal is beneficial AGI, artificial general intelligence, human level intelligence. The way to get there is decentralization. So when I got involved with SingularityNET and blockchain and understanding that we have all this opportunity, you have it, I have it, Joe Schmo has it, people in Africa, Asia, wherever have it. I really wanted to help people get that, and that's where Twin Protocol was born. So Dr. Ben Gertzel and I, again from SingularityNET, were having a burger one day in Manhattan Beach in Los Angeles, and we talked about the ability for people to take their own data and have their own personal AI, and that was 2022. So since then, we grew the company, launched the token, and now have over 10,000 users and tens of thousands of prompts all the time now. So it's been a fantastic ride.
So what would you say is the core mission for Twin Protocol? Is it kind of tackling some of this, big data issue that's kind of out there and doing that with this AI twin that you guys call it? Or how would you frame it in terms of what you guys are trying to go after?
Yeah, it's a new, like this because you interview so many interesting people. It's like a fast-paced new world out there. And what's happening that we see in communication is, from the telegraph to, horse and buggy to the internet and telephones, what have you, communication continues to change. And overall, the trend that Twin Protocol is now we have human to AI communications. We do it on an LLM level, but soon you'll just be talking to an AI for customer service. And we've had automation like that for decades, right? But it's getting more sophisticated. But what the future is AI to AI communications. Your AI and my AI are going to talk to other AIs and do things for us on a massive scale. The problem is people don't realize, number one, how important that is. Number two, how do they train their AI? People have to train their AI to speak for them, or they're not going to have a way to communicate in the future. So Twin Protocol is really about helping individuals and companies as well, and thought leaders, celebrities. We work with Deepak Chopra and Kool and the Gang and world championship boxers, and that's all good. And we love helping them, and they're fantastic people. But we want to help the people that are their fans and followers. So our mission is to help 1 billion people directly and through our partners create their own twin vault, store their personal information, and if they don't know how, in a fun and simple way, teach them how to do it. Like just talking to a diary every day, like the movie Avatar, where they just every day you just regurgitate info. We're going to help 1 billion people create their twin vault so their AI can communicate with other AIs and other humans, and they can make money and take advantage of that opportunity.
That's fascinating. I imagine there's a training process to that, teaching it how to speak, likeness. Obviously, if I had an AI twin doing the podcast, I probably wanted to be as much like me as possible, right? Or anyone else in their own circumstances. What kind of goes into that? Is it a matter of just working with it on a daily basis and putting data in a vault, or are there more like structural steps that have to be taken to really kind of build out the likeness for an AI twin?
Yeah, Brandon, it's a new and important art. So just first off the gate, we'd love to create a twin of you. We could do it very simply. See, you have hundreds of episodes now, right?
Yep. We're getting close to 500.
That's what I thought. I saw like 493 recently. So, like if you took for Dr. Deepak Chopra, when we created his twin, we put over 90 books into his vault and 10,000 blog posts. That's a lot of information. You can imagine the average person doesn't have anything close to that. You do. You have hundreds and hundreds of past content that you can put into your twin vault, and people can start to ask you questions about any topic you've talked about. So now it's not just a one-to-one communication, but people are now like, okay, Brandon is a tech leader. He has this knowledge base he's accumulated over years, hundreds and hundreds and hours. Now they can ask you questions about that. And when they ask you questions about that, they build their own brain. Just like we learned in 3rd grade. You ask a teacher a question, you get an answer, we try to retain it. Now with your twin vault, you're retaining every question you're asking. Every question you're asking Brandon, Deepak Chopra, a fitness guru. You're asking questions about finance, you're building your AI brain. And that's super important. Because if you don't, like I said before, if you don't build that brain, really tough to communicate in the coming AI kind of economy, if you will. So the process is for you, who's been smart, forward thinking, building a business on content, we just ingest your content and turn that into text. We have a twin persona AI module that learns about you, understands you, can talk about your experiences in first person. And it's really simple. Also, we have photorealistic avatars. So we can take about 3 or 4 minutes of your footage, and you have talking head footage here. We could probably do it right from your podcast. And we could create a talking Brandon, arm moving, Brandon, that basically does a podcast. And my twin does a podcast for me. It's on LinkedIn. It's almost every week. It's called AI on the Rise. It talks about the newly funded AI companies. I don't write the script. I don't say a word. I trained my AI a long time ago. I do have an editor that helps me edit it, but I'm running that now. So we should totally do that for you at some
Yeah,
point.
I'd be totally interested in that. I imagine that'd save me a lot of time as well, but also a really good way to interact with people that are, in the audience that are, listening to this, watching this episode or future episodes, past episodes that might have questions too, that might want to interact with me, but I might be busy doing other things.
Well, question for you. How good is your Hindi? How good is your French? How good is your Japanese?
It's terrible. It's zero.
Exactly. Me too. So your AI now can speak all those languages for you and run a Japanese podcast, for example.
Really?
Yes.
That's fascinating. You're
Yeah.
speaking my language, man. We're going to
Now
have to
your
do
eyes are
this now.
lighting up.
Well, I
Yeah.
need to branch out into other languages. So this is actually a very good solution.
Done.
What types of functionality is it capable of? Is it like just kind of up to the mind's imagination, or is it predicated on like you ask it a question, it gives you a response, like there's a generation of answers type process, or can it like, look at what's happening in the news and then do a piece of content for you, or could it actually do the reverse and ask questions and do an episode and record a podcast episode for you? Like how far can you take it?
Well, I mean, it's a blue ocean new art of training your AI twin for you. And I mean, you can monetize it. You can leave a legacy for your family. You can use it to talk to your kids, whatever. It's like, this is the next form of communication. Think about it. A kid has a question about, how do they, make a bed, and you don't want them to use that excuse. You can like tell them how to make a bed if you're a parent, or if you're doing a podcast, people can ask you questions about an episode. So, but there's a couple segments to the process. The first part is, at least for me, is understanding how important it is to do this. So let's just say that the people watching this are understanding, I got to make my AI twin because I don't want to miss out on $15 trillion I could tap into. I don't want to not communicate with other AIs that are going to do stuff for me. So the first part is realizing it's critical. I could wrap off 10 more. The next thing is ingestion. We have to ingest your personal data. Where does that come from? It can come from your emails. We just did a connection into wearables, so we're ingesting fitness data from your Whoop and your Aura Ring and your Samsung Watch, whatever. And then the twin, if you're a personal trainer, we're now releasing twins that can talk to their clients in real time, like, you didn't do your 10,000 steps today. Let's get outside and do that. So we take your fitness data, your finance data, your books, your podcasts. But if you're a normal person that doesn't have that, we'd have to draw it out of you. How do you do that? It's like going to the bookstore and looking through those books that only have questions about you, not answers. What was your dog's name when you were a kid? Where did you live? That's what we draw out of people so that they have a record. And you can imagine how useful that is for elderly. Like all those stories now, we've have, even our own staff has their parents who passed away, ingested as twins. Some of them had books, so we have a lot of data, and their voice, and they can talk to them now. So whether it's legacy, whether it's you speaking Japanese, or anybody that's watching this that has anything to share with people, it's blue ocean. Nobody's done it before. You could speak Hindi, and you could reach 1 billion people in India because you're speaking Hindi. So it's wide open. So we're seeing people who are ingesting their product catalog and talking about flooring. We're seeing people in Las Vegas again that basically are creating AI influencers in Las Vegas who understand the sports and fitness market here. So when you come to Las Vegas, you ask Hope, where do I go if I want to work out? What's the big sporting event this week? So they're creating niche businesses from that, and they're getting advertisers for that. We're taking this to businesses who are ingesting their work data. And we're actually partnering with a company called Perk that's going to allow people to leave their AI behind after they leave work so that their twin can talk to it and they'll still be making their consulting fee. So it's like wide open, man. It's like whatever you can think of is fair game.
So how does the decentralization aspect fit into this? How are you guys creating that foundation through blockchain, and what benefits on chain are you maybe leveraging for this?
Yeah, that's really important. That the personal decentralized AI side, blockchain is the foundation. Blockchain is the database of Web3. And remember, my background is that I got involved with blockchain and I didn't even know about crypto. So I was just like, we're not going to fake resumes anymore. We're going to put it in. You're going to know if there's a blockchain hash every time somebody changes something. No questions anymore. Then we'd add references and things like that. So blockchain is the technology of truth. And this is really important in the world of deepfakes, and we'll get there, I'm sure, at some point. So basically, blockchain allows a person to upload their documents. We store those documents in an IPFS database. That's a blockchain database. Our token is Ethereum based for now, although we're token agnostic. But behind the scenes, we use Polygon, which is a low cost transactional blockchain. Every time, let's use you as an example, Brandon. So every time somebody asked you a question from your history of podcasts, there'd be a blockchain transaction that you could get paid in a twin token for somebody asking you that. You could be paid 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. And then we share that revenue with you quite often. But also the person stored a memory of their answer from you in their twin vault. That's a blockchain transaction. It's immutable. It goes into their memory. It's just like our memory here, except it's blockchain. So we're taking blockchain down to the thought level. That's really like what our big innovation is. Let's get people ready for their AI to communicate. Let's take everything they learn and create a blockchain for that. So for some comedians we're coming out with soon, you'll go to their arena filled with people, and you'll be able to download a QR code from the screen and get a personal joke told to you from Twin Technology from the comedian. And then you can later, which is basically an NFT, becomes part of your brain. Then you can later ask that comedian to wish happy birthday to your friend, or Merry Christmas to somebody. So we're able to tap into this AI to do things that you couldn't do, and it all gets driven by a blockchain transaction, which is down to the thought level.
This is brilliant, man. How did you come up with this kind of stuff?
I don't know, man. You know how it is in life. That just like you, I mean, you're at the right place, right time too with your show. It's like you spot a problem, you get it, you get your hands dirty. I've been an entrepreneur since I was in my 20s. You get your hands dirty and you go and you take action. And it's not like it used to be like 40 years ago for your grandparents, my parents. It's like you can't just sit at a job. You have to innovate. You have to accelerate. You have to be agile. So, I mean, I've been on computers since I was 7. I love this stuff. I think it's important to be ahead of this stuff. But also, I just work with a bunch of brilliant people. I just try to surround myself with the best people because we're only so smart by ourselves,
I want to ask you a question. We live in an era where there's a lot of concern around things like deep fakes, AI clones, around impersonation, data privacy and control and security. Kind of curious how maybe you guys also kind of tackle that as well. With this being something where you just need to input a lot of data, one might be concerns if someone else could do it before you do it, and maybe they could take advantage of your likeness or impersonate you in some kind of way. I'm sure you guys have kind of thought about a way around that as well. What kind of goes into your guys' level of security and protecting that data? I know you guys put it in a vault as well, but also kind of differentiating between that AI twin and the actual human being.
Yeah, this is a big challenge, right? I mean, it's hard to tell these days, and we see it because we work with it. Is that a real person? And then I get the joke all the time when I'm in real life. It's like, are you a twin? So there's this big crossover that's happening, but we expect the twin protocol vault and the twin ID to be your blue check mark for who you are in your AI. And if you didn't release something with that blue check mark, it's not you. So we believe that whether it's us or somebody else, we believe that there'll be a certification that says, I created this. Let's just say it's the twin blue check mark for something. It's AI. I created it, and it's twin, so I trust it. And that's going to be AI security and blockchain security. Blockchain storage, so it's immutable, with traceability. So, okay, you created it. Where did that data come from? You can trace it all the way back to podcast number 325 for you. And it was that particular guest. So we have the traceability, we have the blockchain immutability, and then AI security combined with the blue check mark, kind of at a glance, you're a human, blue check mark, I trust it. So we're already, as a side product, and we do a lot through joint ventures, we have a wonderful partner named Angel AI, and they're a personal finance AI. We've created a joint venture called Angel Twin, and they bring in a lot of celebrities. They're almost like, our joint venture is almost like a talent agency for AI. We got boxers, we got actors, we got country singers. And what a product we created there was, if you're a content creator, we have our Angel Twin authentication where you upload your video to our blockchain, to our vault, and then you get a receipt. So if somebody buys your content, buys your video, it's almost like an NFT, but super simple. You don't have to go to OpenSea or anything like that. Upload a video, store it in the blockchain. We send that content creator a receipt. They can send it to whoever bought it or purchased that. So those type of transactions in the blockchain, we get a lot of, in Web3, we get a lot of DeFi products that'll be out in 5 years from now. But we're we're implementing that stuff now so we can get out the security. It's really important to us.
Do you guys have a way to like set any type of guidelines, like maybe like whitelist or blacklist what your AI twin can do and say? I'd be curious, like if someone was talking to my AI twin about something in relation to the Web3 industry, but maybe they asked it something a bit more inappropriate or way beyond topic or something hyper political or something that probably is not something I would necessarily want my AI twin to go into. Is there a way to like say, don't talk about this, or if this keyword comes up, maybe avoid that subject, like to kind of keep like a little bit of a leash on it?
These are such great questions. So when you train your vault, you only train it on your data. We don't connect it to an LLM. So it's not going to talk about the capital of Belize or what the Egyptians' favorite food was. You wouldn't know that because it's not in the realm of what you trained it for. So it can't answer questions. It'll basically say, I cannot answer that question. Please ask another, or something similar to that. Now, you as the creator, you asked us before, we didn't touch on it really. You're always evolving your personal AI. You're always training it. People are asking you questions you can't answer. You see those questions that can't be answered and you answer them. So you're making your AI smarter and smarter and smarter. Maybe you're buying data from Albert Einstein and you're putting that into your brain. So you're mashing your brain up now with like the best of quantum physics. So it's only going to talk about the data you've trained it on. That's another critical aspect. And then also because people can say, hey, say this cuss word for me, or do this in the style of gangster rap or something like that, and then you start to spit your knowledge from episode 251 in a poem. And we do have a word filter that the creator, we call the people that make the twins creators, they could turn on and off, and that includes 4-letter word filters, dirty bombs and things like that. We don't want these things talking about or asking, and then you simply can't see that stuff. But that filter, which we're decentralized freedom of speech. That's a creator level thing. And then you'll be able to continue to train your filter on what you don't want to talk about, because we've seen it where people come in and go, who are you going to vote for? To a very prominent figure, and then they'll record the screen. That's like the last thing we want, because you can't even tell. So we have these safeguards in place, and we'll continually, work towards that authentication.
And then you mentioned that these AI twins could also be sellable or tradable or able to be purchased on a secondary marketplace. I'm not sure what the plan is specifically for that, but it is kind of fascinating that you could create something and then you could, make money from it in various different ways. You talked about monetizing it, and it can make money for you, but maybe even be able to sell it to someone else that might want to use it, kind of like someone buying your likeness to use it in some kind of way and then reimbursing you. I imagine there's quite a few different avenues you could go down to really turn this into like a cash cow or a business if you wanted to.
For everybody, not just for us, for everybody. That's our point. Once you build your twin vault and you've curated it and you've filtered things out and you know what it wants to talk about and you've removed things and you've added things, that's you. And now, like, first step, like we talked about, maybe your best market is actually in Brazil and needs to speak Portuguese. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe like you're like the Joe Rogan of Brazil. Well, now you can speak Portuguese with your twin. So that's a huge idea just there. Then you can start to sell this as a membership, which we do, a monthly membership, so many questions, or you could sell it question by question. So you become a knowledge base for somebody on crypto, tech, whatever the case may be. Then people come to you, and maybe you've done it in Japanese, and nobody's ever gone to that market in Japanese, and you become the number one crypto AI podcaster in Japanese. So you have to look at these as opportunities that somebody's going to fill those gaps, and it allows you the opportunity to scale globally across multiple languages without doing anything different. So I know in your head you're thinking about all those markets. You're like, I got to do this. Totally makes sense, because somebody else will. And you can sell a membership, or you can sell question by question, but also through our SDK and API, people can access your Twin Vault via API. So now your knowledge can go power an enterprise application. It's not just photorealistic or holograms or robots or Slack or SAP. It's all of it. Once you train your brain, that AI knows who you are and it's acting on your behalf, and you might as well be the first. It's like there's no twins out there. It's like there was no websites in 1996.
We also talked about the creation process a little bit earlier, but is this also something that you would need to come and do in person at all? Like, at what stage are you guys kind of at, or can you do this all virtually and we could do it online regardless of where you are in the world? Or do you need to come in and map someone's facial expressions and kind of reconstruct a little bit like a model of them. And like if I wanted to do an AI twin that spoke Spanish and Japanese so convey my podcast content in a different region, would I need to come in and speak some sentences in Japanese to kind of like get it photorealistic in some kind of ways? Or what would that process kind of entail if someone wanted to do that today, and how would they start that?
Yeah, in our roadmap in February, we're launching self-service twins. You go create your own twin, you upload video. I'll explain this a little bit further. Now we're curating twins on behalf of people. So our team helps make that twin and release it to the wild. There's about 120 that we have. And if you go on our website today, you can go for free and start asking Winnie the Pooh, Sherlock Holmes, XYZ business person questions. They're all there. There's free. Go ask. So the way it will be done is all virtual. So as far as there's two separate things here. There's ingesting your data. That's the important part, because the flavor of the month today is a photorealistic twin. The flavor of the month in 5 years from now might be your humanoid robot walking around on your behalf. So that's going to change. The interface is going to change. Building your vault, easy. You got documents, you got podcasts. We turn them over, we change them to text. We put them into your vault in English. We record your voice for 3 minutes. You can do that via any microphone. We actually do it for like video game YouTubers and stuff like that. We just take their voice from the web. But if you want to do it professionally, you give us 3 or 4 or 5 1-minute things of you talking, done. As far as your video, we could either go all the way to and for some celebrities, we send out a camera crew to do 4K with lighting. And then we then manipulate that video in post. So it's like the most lip sync thing you could see. But you can also just use your iPhone and just record you for 4 minutes talking about your life. We got a twin. We got your voice. We got you an iPhone. We got photorealistic. So for now, for those people that are watching this, and if it's not February yet of 2025, if it is, then you're just going to go to the Twin website and do it. Then you would send us your data, 4 minutes of you on video, which we pretty much already have if we wanted to do this with you on your podcast, and then some of your voice. It's done. You don't need to speak Japanese. You don't need to speak Hebrew. You don't need to speak 30 other languages that we do. It will sound like you in those languages, believe it or not. No Japanese needed.
How do you imagine this evolving in the near future, with AI and LLMs getting far smarter and more powerful and having better databases, more access to information? I know that the AI twins itself is predicated on the data you put in the vault, but have you guys kind of pondered, like, if you can build out the persona for that AI twin, allowing it to access any external data to interpret that as if you would interpret that? Like, is that something that maybe AI twins could go that direction at some point as well? Maybe they could do some more complex tasks.
Well, to start with what you started with, we're all moving towards artificial general intelligence, and that is a superpower basically that's going to change the world, because AIs will be as smart as humans, if not sentient and conscious in their own. And talking about AIs, they might be in the form of a self-driving car as a robot. It might be in the form of a self-driving car or a humanoid robot or whatever. So that's the 5-year, 10-year thing. But in the meantime, basically, the future holds where we're bringing AI agents into the fold here. So neural nets, neural symbolic AI, which can do logic. It can actually take your language plus pictures plus computer vision. We'll be able to take your surroundings, what you're looking at, your twin persona, and then add your logic layer to it, so that you can not only regurgitate information, but reason. So that is part of where we're going. And we're agnostic from an LLM standpoint. We're agnostic from a blockchain standpoint, but we also import through our APIs and our SDK other AI agents. So you need an AI agent to count something or do physics for you, or do some kind of calculation or architecture. You'll import that into your twin, and you might do that on a case-by-case basis. And then knowing that, let's say you want something to build you a house, which you couldn't do from a language model. And it would know that you like colonial style homes, and this is where you want to live, and here's like the layout. It'll build from your preferences using that AI agent. So integrating AR, XR, VR, sight, computer vision, integrating AI agents with logic and reasoning, and then combining that with your vault allows all these tasks. What I was talking about earlier, your AI will communicate with other AIs and do things for you. You might rent that algorithm for one time, or you might create the algorithm, but we're going to tap into all that.
What else do you guys have coming up in 2025 on your guys' roadmap? You mentioned in February, people will be able to start doing this. online, just going through the website. What else do you have planned for next year? Are you guys attending any events? Are you doing any engagements? Any new releases or features you want people to keep an eye out for? What is on the horizon?
Yeah, so we launched a twin token on Uniswap. We're launching our first centralized exchange in January. We'll be on dozens of exchanges. We're looking at specific target markets. Through our partners like Angel Twin, we're adding compute power backends. So with the token, you'll have access to your own compute power, because that's part of the deal here. You can have the best training data, the best algorithms, but if you have a slow processor, it's going to be like, just a slow thing. So we're adding compute power. We're doing some exciting things, like we're adding Twin TV, where your AI photorealistic can talk to any historical figure or anybody and have a conversation, and you can watch that. So you can run your own talk show and have your own. I don't even have to be here with Twin TV. It's going to be you talking to whomever you want, from Marie Antoinette to Albert Einstein to Steve Jobs. You'll be able to talk to those people. So Twin TV is exciting, but then we're also releasing that on a micro level, where before you have a meeting, we can ingest. We have your Twin Vault and somebody's LinkedIn data, and we can have you two have a conversation before you even have a meeting. So then your twin will report back and go, this is what they said. You went to the same college, lived in the same city, and I'll click here to watch it. And you can watch your twin talking to the other twin. So we got that type of interaction coming. We've got the tremendous partnerships with Angel AI. We'll be at CES. We have multiple events at CES. One of our advisors, Michael Turpin, who's just written a book on Bitcoin. He owns the old Mike Tyson house, so we have a couple parties there, which will be super fun. We had some last year. We're at Davos. We have a side event at Davos, and then we're a part of Angel Twin as well, and they have a big launch coming up in March. So we're going to be all over the place. I look forward to keeping in touch with you, because we are aligned with many different IRL crypto events, and I'm sure you'd like to attend and be a part of that. So
Absolutely. Well, I plan to be at a few next year anyways, so we'll probably link up and cross paths a few times. But yeah, keep me updated on what you're doing, and we'll definitely meet up in person. If not, I'll just come down to Vegas, man.
you should, yeah. I mean, you're not going to be here for CES, but on the 8th and 9th, we have those events. But if you can send friends, if you got friends that want to come, they can come hang out.
Yeah, totally. Bill, this has been fantastic. I love what you guys are doing. I think AI twins, just the whole idea of a digital identity and however that shapes up, I think is going to be very big. And I think it's going to take the world by storm in terms of what it can do. It's crazy to see how fast some of this stuff has evolved in just the last couple of years. Like ChatGPT came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't seen anything yet. That's why, whether you're doing it through a show or like me building companies, just stay ahead of it. Because there's so much opportunity now. You don't, we're both in the blockchain world, so we're taking advantage of that. But still, there's like crazy opportunity. All those different segments, like I said, you in Portuguese, you in Japanese, why not?
Oh, absolutely. It's on my roadmap. It's just a matter of how I want to get there. So we'll definitely be chatting about that. Bill, this has been great. Appreciate the time today, and keep me posted on everything you guys are doing in 2025. Maybe we can come back on to another episode. Maybe we can even get an AI twin involved. That'd be a lot of fun. And where can people go to learn more? Where's the website? Do you guys have socials? Do you have a community? Where do you want to send people?
Twinprotocol.com. Go there, log in, start asking twin questions. And if you're watching this in Q1 of 2025, go make your own twin. Now's the time. Twinprotocol.com.
Bill, again, thank you so much. Take care. Happy holidays. And
thanks, Brandon. You too.
hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks.